Turning to education now, part of Louisiana's education overhaul includes unifying the oversight of all pre-K programs in the state and grading pre-K schools. Southern Education Desk reporter Sue Lincoln has the latest on plans that include giving standardized tests to 3- and 4-year-olds.
Few would disagree with the intent of Act 3, which is that, quote, a comprehensive and integrated delivery system for early childhood care and education be created to ensure that every child enters kindergarten healthy and ready to learn. The Louisiana Board of Elementary and Secondary Education has now approved the initial framework for implementing Act 3, but, as Wyatt Graves, executive president of the Louisiana Child Care Association, cautions,
as with anything, the devil is in the details.
And the details are still up in the air, with much more to come from Bessie and the State Department of Education. State Superintendent John White explains.
You are not today approving a specific regulation. You're not approving a rule. You're not approving anything that's going to take effect tomorrow. This is just a stopping point along the way, at which point you're approving or not approving the concept.
Act 3 requires Bessie to create a network for all preschools and daycare providers by July 1, 2013, coordinating with the state departments of Health and of Family Services, which oversee some of the current programs. The network will also share one combined pot of money.
What we're proposing here is one decision-making process around how dollars are allocated, conducted under this board by this agency, such that we have an equitable distribution of seats across all of our programs, NSCCD, LA4, Head Start on down, and that we tie the continued funding of programs to their ability to prepare children for early elementary grades, developmentally as well as academically.
Therein lie the crux of concerns voiced by the public at a recent meeting. Act 3 requires standardized testing of Louisiana's 3- and 4-year-olds, and that pre-K programs be graded and funded based on how well the preschoolers do on those tests. Rachel Ginn, a college undergrad majoring in education at LSU, is concerned about that testing.
Testing strips people of their creativity. We need to keep children creative because that's a skill that everyone needs to succeed in any profession.
Act 3 requires Bessie first to define kindergarten readiness, then establish performance targets for children under the age of 3, and academic standards of kindergarten readiness for 3- and 4-year-old children. Yet the National Institute for Early Education Research, based at Rutgers University, says that numerous studies done with thousands of kindergarten teachers over the past 20 years show that 10% or less think that being able to count to 20 or knowing the letters of the alphabet are important in terms of kindergarten readiness. Instead, over 75% feel that the top 3 readiness attributes are for a child to be physically healthy, well-rested, and well-nourished, able to communicate thoughts and needs in words, and curious and enthusiastic in approaching new activities. But the greatest concerns expressed to Bessie by the public are the funding directives for this new network. Not all of the state's child care providers are prepared or able to function like preschools. Take family home providers, for example.
We have those grandmothers who's taking care of 6 children.
Or daycare centers designed to primarily provide group babysitting services while parents work.
We choose to be in a high-risk area, so our high quality inside of our program could affect those children that are underserved. We want to serve them.
Rochelle Wilcox, who runs a New Orleans area daycare center serving children of the working poor, says over the past few years, the state's child care assistance program has been steadily cutting per-child funding to facilities like hers. But meeting the state requirements under this new program is going to cost these facilities more money.
We are excited about this program to allow our teachers and our staff to get the support and the mentoring to provide high quality to these children. We just ask that maybe if you look at the child care assistance program and see about maybe funneling more money into that program to funnel more money so we can make sure that this program is done at the best of our ability.
Graves explains there are currently vast differences in which programs get how much.
There's programs that are receiving upwards of $5,000 and $6,000 per child for a 9-month year. That's also just providing care for 6 hours a day. And then there are programs that are serving children for 12 months out of the year, 12 hours a day, and only receiving $1,500 per child per year.
Head Start programs get even more money, an average of $8,000 per child per year. But the state may have trouble rolling those dollars into a single pot of pre-K money because the federal government pays Head Start centers directly instead of funneling it through state channels. Bessie member Chaz Romer wonders how that's going to work.
I completely agree with that we need to get rid of the fragmented approach to funding that we have. Obviously, some of these programs are federal programs, Head Start, for instance. To what extent are we able to make adjustments to that?
Superintendent White says Bessie will have to ask the Louisiana legislature to make some changes to state law in order to access some of the Head Start money. He also says there's the carrot and stick method to access the rest.
While we cannot tell the federal government you can't send dollars to those people, we can say to people in our state, you can or cannot operate an early childhood center no matter where their dollars are from.
Bessie approved the framework for the new pre-K network and moving ahead with a pilot project for the next school year. As for specifics about how kindergarten readiness will be measured and the financial ramifications for child care providers that don't measure up when the network becomes active statewide in 2015-2016, White says he'll be drafting those policies over the next few months and bring them back to the board for approval. For the Southern Education Desk, I'm Sue Lincoln.
As state officials say just over half of Louisiana's children enter kindergarten ready to learn, and their goal with this network is to quickly boost that to 70%. The Southern Education Desk is a partnership among public radio and television stations across the Gulf South. We delve into a wide range of educational issues from pre-K through high school and higher ed. For more information, log on to southerneddesk.org.